So, you're ready to take on the world just you and your backpack? Awesome. Today, we're going to break down exactly how to plan your very first solo adventure and turn that big dream into an actual amazing reality. If you've ever found yourself scrolling through these incredible travel photos thinking, I so want to do that, but then your brain immediately floods with, but how? Then yeah, you are in exactly the right place. And trust me, you are not alone in feeling that way. The whole idea of traveling solo is absolutely booming. It's wild. Nearly a quarter of Brits are already planning solo trips for next year. It's such an empowering way to see the world. But just taking that first planning step, that can feel like the biggest challenge of all. Okay, so let's just dive in and tackle the first huge question head on. Where in the world do you even go? With so many options out there, it is so easy to get completely stuck right here. To solve this, we're going to use a simple but honestly brilliant tool. It's called the GIST framework, and it's just an easy way to cut through all the noise and really figure out what you want and what you need from your first solo trip. So let's break down GIST, okay? First up, G is for goals. What's the vibe of this trip? Are you looking for total relaxation on a beach or maybe a heart-pumping adventure? Next, I for infrastructure. You got to think, how easy is it to get around? Is the public transport good? Is there Wi-Fi when you need it? Then S for safety. And look, this one is non-negotiable. Always check official travel advisories and read up on local safety. And finally, T for timing. A great tip here is to consider the shoulder seasons. That's right before or after the peak season. It's kind of the sweet spot for great weather, fewer people, and lower prices. And this right here, this visualizes that sweet spot I was talking about. For your first time going solo, you really want to aim for a place with high infrastructure and a low comfort challenge. Basically, that just means places that are easy to navigate, have great public transport, and a reputation for being safe and super welcoming to travelers. Okay, here is a fantastic tip from the Solo Adventurer's Handbook. Give yourself a soft landing. Seriously, this is a game changer. By having something simple pre-booked for your very first day, like an airport pickup or a walking tour, you can immediately calm those arrival day jitters and just start your trip feeling confident and ready to go. All right, now let's talk about the two biggest concerns for pretty much any solo traveler: safety and, of course, loneliness. And believe it or not, the key to solving both of those often comes down to where you choose to stay. So here's the thing, and this is really important. Solo travel doesn't mean you have to be alone 24/7. Not at all. This hybrid approach is a brilliant way to think about it. You get all the freedom and independence of being on your own, but you can easily dip into social situations like day tours or communal dinners at a hostel whenever you feel like connecting. Your choices for where to stay are just so diverse now. You could dive into the fun, social scene of a city hostel one night, and then the next, escape to a really quiet, private room. It's all about creating the perfect mix of social connection and personal space that works for you. And the options are honestly incredible these days. You've got your classic social hostels, but now there are these amazing boutique hostels that have private rooms, so you get the best of both worlds. You've got guest houses for that local charm, and there are even hotels that specifically cater to solo travelers without charging you extra. Here's a super simple but really powerful tip. Before you book anything, just drop a pin on Google Street View and take a little virtual walk around the neighborhood. Does it feel well lit at night? Is it lively? This little bit of digital exploring can tell you so much about the vibe and the safety of an area before you even get there. Okay, next up is a classic travel paradox, right? How do you plan a trip that still has plenty of room for that spontaneous magic to happen? Well, it is all about finding that perfect balance. Forget about those rigid hour-by-hour schedules. That's not what this is about. The secret is to use a flexible framework. It's a way to give your trip some structure while leaving tons of room for those spontaneous moments that, let's be honest, usually end up being the best stories. So, how do you build this flexible itinerary? Well, you start with your anchors. These are the few must-do things that you need to book ahead of time. Then you add your flexible options, things you'd like to do but don't need to schedule. And then, and this is the crucial part, you schedule in buffer time. Just empty days for rest, for wandering, for saying yes to some random, unexpected invitation. And this leads us to another fantastic little habit to get into, the morning decision. So instead of locking yourself into a rigid plan, you just sketch out a few loose ideas the night before. Then when you wake up, you decide what you actually feel like doing based on your energy, the weather, whatever. It's your trip. You get to call the shots every single day. All right, let's talk about the practical stuff. Money. A smart budget isn't about restriction at all. It's about freedom. It's the thing that allows you to have a stress-free adventure. Now, one of the biggest financial hurdles you might hear about is the dreaded single supplement. That's just an extra charge some places tack on for single occupancy. But you can absolutely beat it by choosing accommodations that actually welcome solo travelers, like hostels with private rooms or charming local guest houses. So this chart here gives you a pretty helpful snapshot of what a typical solo travel budget could look like. Of course, your spending is totally going to depend on your personal travel style, but this is a great starting point to just see how your costs might break down across things like travel, accommodation, food, and all the fun activities. And before you head out, please make sure to run through this essential checklist. Research local costs on a site like Numbeo so you're not surprised. Definitely notify your bank that you're traveling so they don't freeze your cards. And this one's a big one. Always share your itinerary with someone you trust back home and set up regular check-ins. It's such a simple step that provides so much peace of mind for you and for them. So look, if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. Good planning isn't about trying to control every single moment of your trip. It's about creating freedom. It's the framework that allows you to be safe, to be spontaneous, and to be fully present for every amazing moment of your adventure. I really hope this leaves you feeling inspired and, more importantly, ready to start planning that incredible trip you've been dreaming about. All these tips and so many more come from the Solo Adventurer's Handbook. If you want to dive even deeper, you can find the complete ebook at thesoloflower.com. Now go on, your adventure is waiting for you. Happy travels!